this is you in the middle. And so the first continuum, you'll notice if you've seen the Wellbeing Wheel, if you had a look at it last night, if you don't, I'm drawing it now and this is what it is. You'll see the first continuum is the connection with self, right? And the relationships we have. Now that's very different to what I was doing with my hot yoga and my green smoothies, but I didn't know that at the time. So connection is about coming back to self, finding that connection within ourselves. And that comes from meditation, journaling, time in nature, that real understanding of what's important to us. What do we value? What are our personal values? Yes. So what do we value? This is about alignment, and it's about understanding ourselves from within. So the self-awareness, but also the self-understanding. And also it's about honoring ourselves. And so that's about boundaries, isn't it? And I know one of the toughest things for us to set is boundaries with our family. Don't worry, I know, I get it. And you got to do it. And so when you were sharing earlier, I think someone was sharing about, and this is very common, I know, for a lot of women and men at home, is that no space is, if you continue to tolerate the feeling of no space, it's going to hurt you, and then you're not going to be able to show up as your best as your family, and you know this already. So there is no substitute for having these real conversations with our family about what's okay and not okay by all of us. We have to have those conversations. And when we do, we understand ourselves in new ways. But we do it from a place of vulnerability and connection and owning our stuff, not blaming anybody else. Yeah. So those things, when we do that, this is the first piece of the whole wellbeing wheel, connection with self. Because if you're not doing that, everything else that you do is only going to go so far. It will help. Yeah, eating the right food, and we'll get to that in a second. But if you're not doing this piece, all of that's going to kind of only have a limit to the effectiveness. So where are you? So now the satisfaction rating. So I'm hoping this is all good. Everyone's with me, right? So the satisfaction rating, if you read the piece in the pre-work, and if you didn't, that's okay, I'm going to explain it now. So the wellbeing wheel for me is about how satisfied we are in each area of our lives, not whether we give ourselves a 10 out of 10 because we feel we've accomplished so much. Satisfaction is not about balance. It's about, okay, I think I'm a 3 in this area, but you know what? I'm satisfied with that right now because I'm at my capacity in that area, and that's all I can do right now. For example, when we have a baby, I have never had a baby, but maybe if you've had a baby, you'll know that there's not a lot of balance in your life. It's all about the baby. Yeah. So in those important times like that, or life-changing times, or big significant moments in our lives, there's not balance. And that's okay by us. At the time, we need to be fully immersed in what we're doing there. For me, my baby is my business. And so in starting and growing my business, there wasn't balance, and I was okay with that. So it's about level of satisfaction rather than we've got to have a perfect balance. Because if we're trying to have a perfect balance in all areas of our life, we're setting ourselves up for failure, more guilt and more stress and worry. Doesn't work, right? So this is not about balance. This is about your level of satisfaction. So I want you to rate for yourself out of 10 how satisfied you are and how much you're investing in yourself right now, in your meditation, journaling, or even understanding what meditation is, or even trying 5 minutes stopping and breathing for yourself. Time in nature, coming back to self, setting boundaries, knowing what my values are, those things. So I'd like you to write down your level of satisfaction for yourself in this moment of your connection with self. So just take a moment to do that. Sometimes I skip the details because I think you can read my mind. So when a satisfaction level 1 is I'm not satisfied at all, I want to be doing more, it's really important to me, this area of my life, but I'm not doing enough according to what I want to be doing, as opposed to what other people think I should be doing or what others are doing. So that's level 1. Level 10 is I'm really satisfied with how much I'm investing in this area of my life. What I'm doing right now is perfect for me right now, and I'm really happy with that. So that's level 10. Yep. So level of satisfaction as opposed to doing action or what we think we should be doing. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for asking. Yeah. And that's okay, Angela. And so one of the things that's really important is to be kind to ourselves. If we're not doing the things that we want to do, this is about holding space for ourselves and going, you know what, it's okay that I'm a 1 or a 2 or whatever it is in this area. And just start to, create some space around gentleness. That's the first step to kind of letting this confusion and this stress and anger and worry go, okay? All right, so you've done that. The next piece, here, what I've discovered for myself, the relationships are obviously really important. Have you ever been in a relationship though where you've tried to change that person, or you've loved their potential but haven't actually really loved and met them in the moment where they are? I've done that many times myself and discovered after a number of times that it doesn't work. And so it was arrogant of me to think that that person should be any different. It was exhausting trying to coax, encourage, even sometimes manipulate without even meaning to manipulate that person into being a particular way, because that's what I wanted in a relationship. So, and that can go for our intimate relationships or other relationships as well. So if we're doing that, if we're expecting someone to be different to who they actually are while staying with them, then we're not taking care of this. I don't care how you sugarcoat it, whether it's about, but they could be better and I know how amazing they are, and if they only knew how good they were, and you're trying to encourage them or motivate them every day, that's exhausting for you, but it's also unfair on them. That has them be on the hook, and whether that's our extended family or whether that's our intimate relationship. Okay, so with your relationships, the relationships is about the quality of your relationship, but also the energy that you're bringing to the relationship. And whether that's a codependency, as you need to change to make me happy. If when you do that, I feel better, that's a level of codependency. And most of us have some level of codependency in our relationships and don't know it, because most of us aren't bringing a clean and clear energy based on the work that we do here to our relationships. We're usually wanting something from someone else to feel better, feel full, feel complete. Yes? So, thank you, Alison. Yeah, and so when we have that feeling of someone wants us to meet our potential, we might want it too, but it can be exhausting and cause stress on the inside. So the quality of our relationships is firstly about what we do here, and that we bring a full cup to give to our relationships without expectation of return. Now, I want you to hear me in the way that I mean this, because you get to choose who you be in relationship with every day, whether you've got a wedding ring on or not, or whether you're in a long-term commitment or not. You get to choose that person every day. But often what we do is over time, we start to expect things from them for us to stay in that relationship. And that's when it is a deep in codependency. So my question to you is, what are you bringing to your relationships? And have you let them off the hook to just be who they are and love them anyway? And yes, that takes discipline, and it's not easy, but I promise you the quality of your relationships will shift dramatically. So the next piece. Thanks, Georgina. So the next piece is nutrition and movement. Okay, so what's the quality of nutrition that you're putting in your body? What's the, so are you eating at the times that you want to? And obviously at the moment, challenging, but just understanding what's my level of satisfaction. There's nothing wrong here. It's just being able to own, where am I at? So the quality of nutrition, are you eating at the times that you want to, especially at the moment? We often don't stop for lunch, do we? Or we just stop and grab something. Am I eating really late in the evening? That's not working for me. I need to shift that. Am I skipping breakfast? Is coffee my breakfast? Am I in that cycle of just needing that caffeine? And so if that is the case, that's okay. Just be okay with that and just look at your level of satisfaction. As I said, for me, my whole world was about nutrition for many years, and understanding what I put in my body and why. But it's not the whole picture, because it didn't make me well. No matter what I put in my body or didn't put in my body, it didn't make me vibrant and vital to the level that I wanted to be on its own. So where are you at a rating of 10 in your level of satisfaction about how much time and thought, mainly the thought, you're investing in this area of your life? Not very satisfied at all. 10, really satisfied. All right, so then the next one is movement. How are you moving your body? Are you moving it in a way that feels good to you, or are you kind of pushing it? and forcing it and making it do things. Now, I'm all for going to the gym. I love the gym and I love doing the weights, can't you tell? So no, not at the moment. But it's not the whole picture. Are you dancing? Are you flowing? Are you running along the beach? Are you stretching? What are the things that you're doing in this area? Are you satisfied in this area? So out of 10, what's my level of satisfaction? 1, I know I want to do all these things and I'm not doing them, and I'm using this experience right now of COVID to make excuses. Or at the moment, all I want to do is walk because I'm really satisfied with that, so I'm a 10 on that. If I go for a walk every day or most days, I'd rather be at the gym, but the gyms are closed in Melbourne, so I'm walking every day and I'm 100% satisfied with that, then that's a 10. So your level of satisfaction.